All right, let's talk about a word you hear all the time. A word that honestly pretty much runs our entire world.
You know how we always talk about the algorithm? It sounds like this. I don't know, this big, scary, faceless thing in the cloud, right? But what if the algorithm wasn't a what at all? What if it was a who? A real person whose name just became the word we use today?
So to figure this out, we've got to jump in a time machine. Forget Silicon Valley. We're going way, way back, over 1,200 years to be exact, right into the middle of the golden age of Islamic science.
Okay, so this is the man of the hour, Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi. Now, this guy was a total genius, a Persian polymath, which is just a fancy way of saying he was brilliant at everything. Think of him like a Renaissance man, but hundreds of years before the Renaissance. He was born in modern-day Uzbekistan and ended up as one of the top scholars at the legendary House of Wisdom in Baghdad, which was basically the world's biggest and best university at the time. So here's the crazy part. How does his name turn into a word we use every day? Well, it's pretty straightforward, actually. Centuries later, when his books got translated into Latin, his name, Al-Khwarizmi, got a little makeover. It became Algorithmi. And from algorithmi, well, you can see where this is going. It became algorithm. The man literally became the word. And get this, it doesn't stop there. Here's a little bonus for you. His most famous book had this long title, but part of it included the Arabic phrase Al-Jabr. Sound familiar? It should, because that's where we get the word algebra. So yeah, this one guy is basically responsible for giving us both algorithm and algebra. No big deal, right?
All right, so we know his name got famous, but why? I mean, what did he actually do that was so revolutionary that people just started naming an entire way of thinking after him? Well, for starters, he laid the groundwork for, well, everything. He didn't invent the numbers we use today, 1, 2, 3, but he was their biggest fan. He wrote this incredibly influential book that introduced the Hindu-Arabic numeral system to the Western world. And that system included something totally game-changing, the concept of zero. I mean, seriously, have you ever tried doing long division with Roman numerals? It's a total nightmare. His work made it possible, for the first time really, to do complex, step-by-step math in a way that anyone could follow. And here's the key thing to remember. He wasn't just messing around with numbers for fun. This wasn't abstract, theoretical stuff. He was building practical tools to solve real-world problems. Things like, how do we divide up an inheritance fairly? Or how do we calculate trade profits? Or how do we measure this plot of land? He was creating a repeatable, systematic framework for getting the right answer every single time. And that right there, that's the thing he pioneered. Today, we call it algorithmic thinking. It's more than just math. It's a whole way of looking at the world. It's about seeing a problem, breaking it down into a sequence of simple steps, and then just following the recipe to get to your solution. And it's not just some obscure term. Academics have looked at this from all sorts of angles. Some say it's about planning ahead. Others say it's the art of breaking a big task into tiny, manageable chunks. But you see how they all kind of point to the same thing, right? It all comes back to that central idea, a clear, structured, step-by-step process. It's also really important to get this. Algorithmic thinking isn't exactly the same as mathematical thinking. The legendary computer scientist Donald Knuth made this super clear. Think of it like this. A mathematician might ask, what are the fundamental properties of a circle? They're exploring what's true. But an algorithmic thinker asks, how can I write a set of instructions to draw a perfect circle? They're creating a process to get a result. It's the difference between knowing a fact and having a recipe. And Knuth actually made this kind of shocking observation. He believed that only about 2% of people are natural-born algorithmic thinkers. Think about that. Out of 100 people, only 2 just seem to get this way of thinking instinctively. It's a pretty rare mindset. So just let that sink in for a moment. This very specific, kind of rare way of thinking, the one that Al-Khwarizmi laid out all those centuries ago, it's the absolute foundation of our entire digital world. The phone in your hand, the websites you visit, the AI we talk about, it all runs on this. And you can literally trace the path of this idea through history. It starts in Baghdad in the 800s. Then, a few hundred years later, his books hit Europe and his name starts to spread. Flash forward all the way to 1979, in the middle of the Cold War, mind you. And you have the top American and Soviet computer scientists making a pilgrimage to his birthplace. And now, today, those same principles are humming away inside billions of devices all around the globe. It's an incredible journey. Yeah, that 1979 trip wasn't just a vacation.
This quote kind of explains it all. For these scientists in this brand new field of computer science, it was about finding their roots. It was about creating a shared history, a common symbol they could all rally around. And they found that symbol in Al-Khwarizmi. And his name is still a huge deal. I mean, as recently as 2012, one of the most advanced computer research institutes in the world, the QCRI in Qatar, was this close to naming itself the Al-Khwarizmi Institute. That just shows you, even today, his name is shorthand for cutting-edge technology. So let's circle all the way back to the beginning. The next time you're scrolling your feed and you hear someone complain about the algorithm, you'll know the secret, right? You'll know it's not just a bunch of code. It isn't some cold, faceless machine. It's a human story. It's the legacy of one person, a whole new way of thinking, and an idea that was so powerful it traveled for more than 1,000 years to build the world we're living in right now. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Algorithmic thinking isn't just for coders or computers. It's a tool for thinking, for solving problems. So now that you know where it came from, how are you going to use it?